Hey everybody, this is John Martin, the founder of Pharaoh Fitness, and in today's episode of Pharaohcast, we have David from Crunch Fitness who shares with us his nutritional advice, the dangers of ego lifting, and some of the struggles he faces in the gym. If you like this video, hit subscribe and like, and enjoy the video. Welcome to Pharaohcast, the official podcast of Pharaoh Fitness, where we build warriors, kings, and leaders both in and out of the gym. I'm your host, John Martin, founder of Pharaoh Fitness. Every month, we sit down with athletes, coaches, and fitness professionals to dive into their stories, their struggles, and the strategies that shaped their success. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and like on all social media platforms. Links are in the description. Yeah, it's a pride of lions now. Okay. Tom, when are we good to go, sir?
So I pressed record about 45 seconds ago just to kind of let it organically go.
Let it go, yeah.
So when you're ready to kind of just take over.
Yeah.
Ready to
So David, we're going to go nice and slow, man.
All right.
First of all, thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
How's your day been?
You know what? It has been pretty intense this morning. You know, I was getting excited to come here and speak with you on today.
Yeah.
But I also have things I have to do at the house. So, you know, my wife and I, we're kind of getting ready for Thanksgiving, getting things together, making sure I get a workout in.
Yeah.
Making sure I'm getting work done so I can peacefully be off next week.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Awesome. And David, I think I briefly heard you say you mentioned you work in sales. Is that
That's
right?
correct. Yes.
Okay, cool. You like it?
I do. I've been in sales for 20 years, I'll say now.
Oh, nice. Well, you're very charismatic, so I can definitely see like you're very good at it. So,
well, I appreciate it. I try to be a people person. You know, I think that's one of the things you actually have to believe in your product and actually like talking to people.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. But David, again, thank you for joining, man. One of the reasons why I wanted to bring you onto this podcast is because I had seen you at the gym nearly every day. You know, we started going to True Fit a couple years ago, and I would see you and your friend Kate there every day.
Yeah.
You know, at first I thought, you know, maybe that's boyfriend, girlfriend, maybe that's personal trainer and client. You know, I didn't know what the dynamic was there, right? I just saw you guys there all the time at the same time I was there. And then sooner or later, we made the switch over to Crunch Fitness.
Yes.
And I saw you guys there again.
Yes.
And, you know, I just had to talk to you guys. You know, I saw you guys show up every day, and I'm just so amazed by the discipline showing up. And that kind of leads me into, like, how did you get started with this? Like, you and Kate doing this. How did you get in the gym, start every day, start going? How did that get you going?
Good question. So first of all, excited to be here. I do recall those days back at True Fit.
Yes, sir.
We had a really good time there. So it was actually a group of about 5 or 6 of us.
Okay.
And the reason we decided to do that was about accountability. One, we would see each other in there, and it started off with a friendly, how you doing? I see you here often, you know, kind of what's your schedule? Kate and I saw her doing something, and I think if I'm not mistaken, she corrected me on something, which I always solicit that. You know, I was doing something wrong that could have hurt my back, and she gave me a little advice, and that was something that I was a little excited about. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So, and then I repaid the favor. So from then on, we all just started conversing, had a little group chat going on, things like that. My cousin was part of that as well. But it was one of those things where if someone wasn't present, let's reach out and find out what's going on, because we knew this was a focus of ours. So to your direct question on how long have I been doing this, often I've been serious with working out for probably the last, I would say, anywhere between 7 to 10 years. But prior to that, I just wanted to say I was in the gym. It was a way for me to have peace. It was a way for me to just get away from life and different things, an outlet for me.
Okay. So you've been doing this gym thing for a while.
I've been doing it, but doing it, going to the gym and actually having goals in mind and knowing what you're doing, I think are two different things.
100%. You can go to the gym, show up, and that's it. You can
Exactly.
do that, and then, you know, what are you doing, right?
But it's really been, to your point, it's really been the last few years. Funny thing, before I came over here, my wife and I, we were discussing how we were called during COVID. I was having to get creative even in our garage. We had a playground. I was going to the barbells to do pull-ups and things like that. But it wasn't until I had a chance to actually sit down and say, David, what are you doing? What are you really trying to get accomplished? How are you going to know if you're meeting these goals and things like that? And I would say that happened right after COVID. And I said, you know what? Let's sit down. You want to look a certain way. You want to feel a certain way. And you want to be able to celebrate some accomplishments. And after COVID, I said, you know what? No more. I'm going to come in here with a mission, and I'm going to get it done. So
I love it, man. So let's talk about your current fitness routine. What does that look like?
So as of right now, I do it a little different. I try to surprise my body every now and again. But if I had to say what I've been most disciplined on is Monday, I try to do leg day by itself. I may do anything between quads, calves, hamstrings, everything leg or lower body related.
Okay.
On Tuesdays, because I try to stay away from chest Monday, I'll do chest and shoulders.
International Chest Monday.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It feels like everybody else.
David goes against the grain like a smart man and hits legs. So absolutely, man. So, okay. So we got legs on Monday or lower body.
Yep. Then we'll do
chest on Tuesday.
And shoulders.
Chest and shoulders on
Correct.
Tuesday.
And then I will do Wednesday. I will do back, bi, and tri. A lot of times I try to do it that way because if I ever have a press for time or if I want to get in and out and do something that is not necessarily going to withstand me from or keep me from being able to do supersets, I try to do opposing muscles. So if I'm doing back, obviously tricep is not going to be fatigue.
Right.
So I try to do it that way. And then if I want to, depending on how my week looks, if not traveling for work, I'll repeat the cycle. I take Sundays off. A lot of times I'll try to take Saturdays off as well, but I want to at least have 2 rest days.
At least 2 rest days.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I try to hit every body part at least twice.
Everybody. Okay, good. So you're basically kind of doing like a push-pull legs.
Correct.
And then
In
repeat,
essence,
rest. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool, man. Awesome. And so do you focus on nutrition at all? So I know you've got a game plan on weightlifting. What about nutrition? Do you focus on any of that part?
Funny you should say that. I get asked this question quite often as well. First, let me start off saying I've been vegan for 9 years.
Wow. Congratulations,
people,
man.
Yeah. A lot of times when people hear vegan, they think the healthy guy. I do know my body. It wasn't necessarily just for health reasons, but it was more just to kind of see the inflammation that I was having in my body, how much better I can feel. Can I try something different? So I just quit meat cold turkey. But as far as nutrition, I try to stick to something that works for me.
Yeah.
I know, I'll be honest, 100%. At times I can overeat, but I know if I overeat, what I have to do the next day.
Yeah.
So I'm one of those guys where, hey, I want to know what I'm eating. I want to know how much I'm putting it in my body, but not to a point where it's not fun.
Yeah.
So I'm a little more relaxed, but I'm always conscious of what I'm putting in my body and how much I'm putting in it. So yeah. So
absolutely.
in essence, I would say yes. I'm not one of those guys who weigh their meat, weigh vegetables or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I'm cognitive of what I'm putting in my body.
Right. So you're just like, you're not going to be completely strict, like I need 7 ounces of this. You know, I used to be like that. And then, man, that took a lot of fun out of everything.
Absolutely.
And I'm like you, like I can be good and strict, but also have a little fun.
Absolutely.
There's got to be a little balance there, right? And so, you know, earlier we were talking with producer Tom and, you know, he'd mentioned these high volume foods where it's really low calorie.
Yes.
And like me, man, I love to shovel food down my throat.
As do I.
and so I'm just like, how do I get the most food in my stomach without, you know, as many calories?
Yes.
And so there are hacks out there.
Absolutely.
You know, there are low calorie foods that you can just munch out on.
Absolutely.
And it's a game changer.
Yeah, and like barely cooked broccoli is like a game changer too. Like just cooked enough to not be too hard, and like that'll sit in your stomach. It'll take a while to like. So that's like me, especially early on of like getting into a journey with food and everything.
Yeah,
like literally there'll be almost a whole head of broccoli florets in my eggs in the morning.
Wow.
Like that's a game changer, man.
It is.
Like, oh, I'm full. You feel good. And then like, you're like, oh, sometimes you get to a point, especially early on in that journey where you're like, oh, I'm supposed to eat lunch, I'm like, but I'm not like dying. This is cool.
Exactly.
And you just kind of rinse, repeat that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a creature of habit. So just like Tom, I can have the same food all over. Every day,
too, man.
I will eat the same exact thing. I know what the taste is. I know what I'm going to indulge in when I get home.
Yeah, tell us what breakfast, lunch, and dinner is like typically. You know?
Yeah. So for me, again, let me start off with this just to show you that I am a creature of habit. For 10 years straight, I was eating oatmeal and peanut butter every morning for 10 years straight.
Wow.
I decided to change it up. I was putting a little weight on me.
Yeah, okay, sure. The peanut butter will do that, yes.
It will do that indeed.
Yes.
And so now I do intermittent fasting. I typically wake up early in the morning to start work, but I don't have my first meal until about noon.
Okay.
I start eating at 12, so that's when I break my fast. Typically at that point in time, I'll have, depending on what my taste or how I did the day before, will depend on how I want to break my fast. It can be anything between a vegetable medley or anything like that, or me being vegan, I may have a Beyond Meat burger or something to that extent. It's typically going to be a vegetable, some kind of protein, and something that will, hold me over, whether it be sweet potato fries or sweet potatoes or something like that.
Yeah.
Then I don't eat again until after the gym. So right now I'm doing 2 meals a day. So I may have a snack in between.
Sure.
The snack can consist of nuts, granola, or I'm not a big shake guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of whey protein or pea protein that are for vegans.
Yeah.
I've never found one that I'm actually liking that that's not packed with sugar. So I try to stay away from that. So within those 2 meals, I'm getting my calorie intake. So my last meal I may come home and I may have something. If I haven't had enough energy, I may do something that is a meat replacement.
Yeah.
It can be anything, like I said, Beyond Meat. It can be Gardein chicken or anything. Sorry if I can't give the name of things on here. Or it can be something that, the wife may have put together for me.
Absolutely.
That helps out, that I have, again, the vegetable, that I have what is a meat replacement, and something that's going to be a little bit more carby for my next workout.
Absolutely. So is your wife also vegan with you?
She is not. She calls herself a Flexitarian, so she can eat everything. A Flexitarian? She eats everything.
I've never heard that before. That is amazing. We're coining that term. Flexitarian.
Yes.
That's awesome,
So
dude.
she has it all. But no, she is a foodie. She goes out and tries everything.
Okay.
So a lot of times she finds it a little bit more difficult for us to go out to eat.
Sure.
So she'll go out with her girlfriends a lot of times.
Sure.
Because she wants to try out the new food. She wants to make sure she's enjoying what food brings to her. So I get it.
Sure. So with you being vegan for 9 years, do you have, like, when she's eating like a piece of chicken or something, are you like, ooh, maybe just a little?
There's no judgment.
Maybe just a little. Can I get a little? Yeah.
And there's no tease.
No tease, no judgment. No
temptations.
Okay.
I actually, funny thing. So for 20 years, I'll say, I think we did a calculation. 22 years I've had pork, and there was no reason behind that.
Wow.
Just did not eat pork. Red meat was 9 years ago. I stopped eating that the year after we got married.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was a chicken and turkey guy. Oh, my goodness. I could eat that all day long. I decided to, when I went vegan, we were doing a fast. And I was like, you know what? My body's feeling a little bit better.
Yeah.
Inflammation's down, my shoulder, I'm able to lift it a little bit more. Let me see how long I can go with this.
Yeah.
And decided to just quit cold turkey, quit everything.
Wow.
And so no turkey, no chicken, any of that. Those are the 2 things that I would say I miss the most.
Yeah.
Especially as I'm trying to get more and more gains out of my workouts.
Yeah.
I would love to have the lean protein, just to have a chicken breast or something like that.
The red meat has the creatine in
absolutely,
it,
absolutely.
and so
that's the downside of being vegan.
That is it. You've got to do
a
a lot more plant protein to kind of make up for the incomplete protein profile that's in the plant. So the red meats, the white meats have the more complete protein profile, and so you got to make up with that with just sheer volumes of
absolutely
it. So,
right. Yeah.
Okay, man. So right now you're eating 2 meals a day. You're fasting. Basically, you have a window of when you're allowed to eat. do you ever notice like any of like, do you have energy crashes, any headaches? Does this work? Everything, it works for you.
So here's one thing that I say to a lot of people that I have this discussion with as well. And again, I'm no nutritionist or anything like that. I can only speak to what works for me. Yeah. I have to find something that I can maintain. There's 100%. A lot of fad diets out there that I can say, hey, I saw something on Instagram. I saw something on YouTube. It may feel good for a moment, but if I can't sustain with it, then it's no need for me to do it anyway, right? Because it just works for that moment, and then I crash, and then I do something that makes me feel guilty, and I'm starting all over again.
Because fitness is a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
If it doesn't fit with your lifestyle, it's not going to be consistent. You're not going to stick with it. So the best part of fitness is something you can stay with consistently, you know? And it doesn't have to be perfect.
Let me ask you. So you mentioned like how, I guess, headaches and things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you've heard people try to do intermittent fasting and reporting how they felt crappy and all that stuff. And I feel like as someone who at one point I've tried to do that when I was eating poorly. Yeah. And probably had, I think, is it fair to say that is what you can kind of expect if you come from eating poorly and have your body like expecting, those simple sugars that kind of draw energy from?
Absolutely, Tom.
To where is if you kind of had like a healthier diet first and then shifted to an intermittent fasting, you probably have an easier time getting into that, right?
That's exactly right. It's all about the glycemic index, right? Mm-hmm. So those simple sugars, really high on the glycemic index. It gets absorbed into your bloodstream immediately, right? Cures that headache. Now, if that's the diet you're used to, your body's always constantly looking for that. But like what you were saying, if you're eating healthy, it's usually a lower glycemic index. It enters your bloodstream slower. You feel fuller longer. And so therefore, like the intermittent fasting wouldn't crash you out as hard as if you went from, you're exactly right.
So for best results for the average person, let's say like someone's listening to this and they're like wanting to change their life and they hear his story, jumping right to like eating McDonald's 3 times a day or whatever. It's like, hey, I'm going to intermittent fast. Okay. You're probably your body's going to like beat the crap out of you.
Ups and
because
downs.
No. Because that's the biggest thing I discovered and I've overcome more than once in my health journeys is understanding my body is often like trying to punish me in ways of like, where it'll try to, like, I mentioned this to you recently in a text where I'm like, man, I'm feeling really sad for no reason.
Yeah.
And it was like, I realized what's going on. My body is like, I know what we'll do. We'll get him to stress eat. Yeah. We'll make him want comfort. And this is what, and you have to kind of recognize, wait a minute, I don't think I'm sad. My body is trying to get me. And if people might think that's crazy, but your body will defy you to get
it will. It'll manifest itself as either a depression or a sweet tooth, right? I got to have my sweet tooth, It'll manifest its way in different forms, exactly like that, Tom.
But that's amazing, though.
It's funny you say that. I mean, just 2 things you made me think of. You ever gone? Because I know you said earlier you don't have sugar, but for those who are not as disciplined, and again, everyone has their journey. You ever notice when you go in a sugar fast, the moment you allow yourself to have sugar, you start wanting it all over again. It's like I broke the cycle, and now why am I wanting sugar so bad?
See, my experiences with breaking away from sugar have been weird. So 2019 health journey, I had no sugar. And that health journey, and I've had many health journeys, some which were short-lived, and some cases, like I cut soda out of my life back in like 2012. And I was that guy, I'd go to a restaurant, I get 5 refills. You know what I mean? Like, and it was 30 days, just as a challenge with somebody where I was like, you know what, I'm not drinking soda. And I also gave up cheese for 30 days.
Okay.
But I finished the 30 days. First thing I did was pound a pizza. But I'm like, I don't actually miss soda. Like I have discovered, like it was the bubbles that I liked.
Yeah.
So seltzer water is awesome.
Yeah.
I've been drinking seltzer ever since. But when I kind of detoxed off sugar for a period of time, a few months later, I found that like the sugary things that I once loved tasted like poison. Yeah. It was like, no.
Yeah.
why would anybody eat this?
Yeah.
You know? And so I think that's been my experience more to where it's like, why would I eat that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that's what I tell people to look forward to from my experiences. I also have heard of people who are like in the middle of that journey, having like a candy bar and going on a full-on sugar binge for sure. But that just hasn't been. I'm thankful that hasn't been my experience.
Yeah, I try not to do that. That I would be the latter. I'm one of those where if I don't have sugar, I'm great.
Yeah.
I don't have an urge for it. I don't yearn for it. I'm not fiending for it or anything like that.
Yeah.
But the moment I allow myself to have it, it is, when do I have it again?
Yeah.
David, you were doing great until you allowed yourself to have it
that
again.
one slip up.
Yeah. So I tend to, again, to our point we were talking talking earlier, I try to not necessarily reward myself with a cheat day, but maybe a cheat meal, something that I wouldn't typically do. And again, it's not something that's going to make me cry later or make me feel as if I wasted a whole week of working out great for one day. I won't do that.
Yeah.
But what I'll do is I'll say, hey, David, as long as you know what day it is, it will make me work harder to get to that day.
Oh,
So
100%. Give you something to look forward to.
Exactly.
Reward yourself.
Yes,
you
yes.
have to reward yourself.
And your body will adjust to that. I think we were talking about the intermittent fasting. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to come up. What I've noticed myself is you're going to have hunger pains. Those things are going to happen. You're going to be fiending for the food. You're going to see commercials nonstop on food that you wouldn't even eat. I'm a vegan. I don't care about the food that comes on the commercials. But when I'm hungry, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, that looks so delicious.
Yeah.
And again, it's just your body playing with you. There's little things that you can do. Watermelon is a great hack. I don't know if you tried that. Watermelon is just full of water.
Yeah.
But eating it and having that will definitely reduce those hunger pains. Drinking water before you eat a meal makes you more full. So eating slower. All those little things help out a lot. I can put it down. Like you, I can put the food down.
I got to shovel it
and
down.
I have to tell myself, David, what are you doing? Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
David, did you grow up with any older brothers?
I had an older sister.
You had an older sister. Okay. So my eating fast came because I grew up with two older brothers, and at the dinner table, if you didn't eat fast, you didn't eat at all.
I can see that.
It's family style. We got a big old plate of food. You make sure you get fed quick.
Yes.
Because you got two older brothers who are going to eat all of that. So that's
funny.
So I'm like you, same thing. I grew up for a large amount of my life. There was, 8 people at the dinner table, and especially the things that you really enjoy. Like, you'd get like, my mom would serve everybody, and once in a while it'd be weird. Like the thing you liked the most, your mom gave you the least of. And then you're like, oh, so you had to hurry up because if you wanted more, you had to finish. But here's the other thing that can also flip side your upbringing, because you'll probably never be able to overcome the eating fast fully, where it's not ingrained in you.
It's so ingrained as part of life.
But what my issue was the amount of times as a child where maybe you're not hungry, or you're just not hungry. Your body's telling you, I don't want any more. But mom gave me way too much food, and your dad's like, eat your dinner.
You have to clean your plate.
Yeah.
You have to clean your plate. Well, you guys screwed me up then.
Yeah. And then there was also we'll finish your dinner because we're having ice cream later.
Exactly.
So now, okay, the ice cream's the reward for overstuffing your body for what your body didn't want.
Yes.
Like you're doing something wrong by saying I'm full.
Yes.
That's the craziness that I grew up with.
Yeah.
And like both of my kids, like my kids are not overweight. My 22-year-old she's like a model, slim and slender. My other one's like she's kind of got my genetics. She's a little like bulky, but she's very athletic.
Yeah.
So, but it was never a matter of like, make you this nice plate. She goes, Daddy, I'm full. Sometimes I go, all right. Once in a while I go, hey, take 2 more bites. You're good. Like it was never finish your dinner. My ex-wife did that once at the table, was like, no, she overrode me for a minute. Was like, no, finish your dinner. I was like,
yeah.
That first off, they were my kids, not hers. But I'm literally like, no, Take 2 more bites, you're good.
Yeah.
And I literally told my ex-wife, I go, you are not going to make my kids fat with old school mindsets.
That's exactly
No
what
way.
it is, an old school mindset.
But I still struggle. If I go out to eat and get a meal at a restaurant, I don't know what it is, but I'll stress out if it's like we'll get an appetizer and there's one still there.
And it's not enough to take home and save.
Yeah, or there's one there and it's like, that was supposed to be yours, but you didn't eat it. Something in me is like, oh my God, like somebody has to finish that. Because and I realize it's probably trauma when, mom
it's
or dad
like
was
OCD,
like, why we ordered that if you weren't
it's
gonna eat
like
it
we
all?
made it this far, know.
Yeah.
So even the portion controls here in the U.S. are
You're exactly right.
a lot bigger than other places.
Yeah.
It's funny. My friends and I, we would joke around when we were in college. I don't know your college experience or if you went. It was tough for us. We didn't have food. We were trying to find places to eat and everything that we could, almost to the point where it felt as if, again, I don't know if this is the right term, but our stomach shrunk. The amount of food that we could partake went down significantly because we were not eating as much.
Yeah.
So we would come home for holidays to see our parents and friends, and we're like, oh my goodness, I can't wait for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. I'm going to eat like I haven't eaten before. But I couldn't finish my food at all because my body had been trained to eat less. So again, it is possible once you tell yourself, or once you try not to divulge as much, and you start limiting the amount of food you eat. That plate doesn't have to be the biggest plate out there. It can be a little smaller. And again, set your mind and say, hey, I don't have to feel full while I can't move. Let me just be satisfied.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that will do. That will suffice.
Yeah. I think one of the hardest things for me to do, I meal prep now. One of the hardest things for me to do is when I'm meal prepping and I'm not hungry, I'm just prepping for the future. I'm portioning out stuff and I'm looking at it. I'm like, is that going to be enough? I'm looking at it and it's like 2 cups of rice, 6 ounces of chicken. I'm like, is that going to be enough? It is, though. It really is, because I'm eating 5 meals a day.
Yeah.
Generally around 700 calories. And what I do is, I break it up all throughout the day. And I used to be a lot like you, where I would just eat through a window. Like when I was at work. So I work in healthcare analytics.
Okay.
Monday through Friday. So it's work from home. When I'd be at work, I wouldn't eat anything till 2:30. I just wouldn't eat. My coffee was my pre-workout. I would be caffeinated all the way up to like 12:30.
Yeah.
Start to get a little bit hungry or whatever, eat around 2:30 or whatever, and then go to the gym. And then it was just eat after the gym. Right. But yeah, I love it. I love hearing the way you figured out what works for you. I love hearing Tom, what he's figured out what works for him, because there is no one size fits all in fitness, right? Yeah, that's really awesome. And David, I kind of wanted to shift back to the gym.
Okay.
And you had mentioned you'd been going to the gym for a while, and it wasn't until a little bit after COVID you started to get serious. And you said, I'm going to come in here with goals in mind. Can you tell me a little bit more about these goals or these struggles? Anything you've accomplished that you're proud of, or anything you've attempted and you're like, I didn't get that, but I'm going to come back and get it.
Absolutely. Good question again. First, I'll talk about some of the struggles that I had. Consistency wasn't necessarily ever the problem for me. I'm one that's very, very competitive, so I like to get to a point, and I like to feel like I've won. But within being competitive, there's always a time frame to it, and I think that's what my biggest thing was. Sometimes I was limiting myself to not SMART goals. It was things that I would watch other people do and say, "Why can't I do that?" Or comparing myself to.
Do you have an example? Would you see someone benching like 4 plates and you're like, I got to do that?
Yes, it would happen a lot. It would be me. I've had knee surgery and things like that. And the doctor has told me multiple times, David, there's some leg exercises you should not do.
Okay.
Well, okay. What does he know, right? He's not in shape. I can do this. I'm David. I can make it work.
Yeah.
And I'll see people who, again, me and my mind, judging people off of looks, which I should never do. Thinking, I feel bigger. I feel like I could be stronger than this guy. Why is he able to squat more than me?
Yeah.
Why is he able to lift more than me? He doesn't look like that.
Yeah. I have the same feelings. Yeah.
So I tried. Needless to say, I went in all the time, not taking care of my body. Again, at that time, not having the right nutrition, not recovering like I should.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go in and again, ego lift.
Go
in thinking in my mind all the time. Now, had I done it the right way, it'd been great, but I had this mental in my mind, this guy would lift this all the time and it looked so easy.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, I'm thinking everybody's
You're bigger than
me.
him.
Yeah.
You should be able to lift this weight.
Watch me every time I get underneath this weight. And I hurt myself.
Yeah.
I hurt my shoulder.
Yeah.
To a point where I had to force myself not to lift weights for a very long time. And I had to tell myself, David, is this what you wanted? Did you really, truly want to come in here and ego lift because you were competing against someone who doesn't know your name, who doesn't care, who's not competing against you?
He's not.
Who will never probably ever have a conversation with you, but you're competing against an invisible person that you see. So a lot of times that has happened. It's also happened to the point where a lot of, defeats that I've had is when I come to the gym and my intent is to grow and look a certain way.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll look I can get lost on YouTube a lot of times just looking at fitness influencers and looking at different people and how they transition or how they say they've transitioned their body in amount of time. I know a lot of it is not true.
Yeah.
But then there's that one side of me that says, what if it is true?
Yeah.
Why aren't you that person doing it? So it's been times that I'll come into the gym that I'll say, okay, David, you know this, you're smart enough to know how your body has to grow. Again, I'm not the smartest guy out there, but I do know there's time that needs to be put in for your body to grow, and there are certain limitations that you have. And genetics play roles as well, but we won't get into that.
Sure.
And I would find myself in the mirror quite often looking and saying, why is my body not looking like this other person? Why is it not growing like I need it to grow?
Dysmorphia.
Yeah, yes.
I'm right
and
there with you, brother.
Man, and people would come up to me, you look good.
Yeah.
Not knowing the internal struggle that I have myself.
You never look good enough.
Yes. So it would come to a lot of times that I would go into the gym and after the gym, looking at myself, and it was almost as if that great workout I had was not enough because I still didn't look the way I thought I was going to look after the workout or as the progression went on.
Right.
But to the wins, man. And that's still a struggle.
David, I want to say something. You look freaking awesome, man.
Well,
I wish you and Tom have the biggest arms. I wish I had arms like you guys.
No,
all right.
No.
So,
thank you.
But yes. Let's the wins. Yes, sir.
Yeah, some of the wins. So if we want to get specific, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
We go to crunch right now. One of the things I said, I've had shoulder pains and things like that, but one of the things is that the highest dumbbells are in there at 120.
Yeah, they are.
We can go to 120. So one of my goals was, you know what, I used to do little small things in my head where I want to do 10 sets of 10.
10 sets of 10, sure.
So I said, how much time are you going to give yourself, David? Because for a while, even with the hundreds, it was a struggle. I put out a game plan. I said, you know what, David, by the end of this year, and I think I came up with this goal, May of this year. I said, by the end of this year, I want to be able to do 10 sets of 10 with the 120s.
Dude, that's a lot of volume. You're saying like all in one go?
Yes, in one go.
Dude, that's 100 reps.
Yeah. Well, I would do 10. I would rest. I would give myself a minute to a minute and a half. That's the most I would give myself.
Okay,
and I would
minute and a half. So you give yourself 90 seconds in between each set.
And I'd have to do 10 again.
That's still
to get
a
to
lot,
100.
man. That's
So, yes.
still wild.
So-
Okay, so yes.
So I did get to that.
Oh my God.
It
So
was-
you
yes.
did the
I've done-
120s and you did
10 by 10.
10 by 10.
Correct.
And you did it with 90 seconds of rest in
With
between.
90 seconds between.
Those last two sets, how are you feeling? How was the weight moving? You had to be just out of your
So,
mind.
If I'm honest with you, it was set 6 and 7 that were the worst for me.
Really?
Because I'm thinking in my mind, you have to do this 3 or 4 more times, and it's
Right.
already feeling heavy. When I got to set 8 and 9 and 10, it was the adrenaline. It was, you have not got this far to fail.
Dude.
You have
So
not gotten this far.
What exercise are we talking about?
Were you doing
Bench
French
press.
press? Yeah.
So when you have the dumbbells, and
He's
you're
doing dumbbell
flat, but
bench,
it's flat.
It's flat. So
Flat bench press.
if it was inclined, I would say,
no,
dude,
it's
get out of here.
impossible. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
want to
no,
talk
not
to you
at all.
anymore.
Not
Okay,
at
yeah,
all.
I was just unclear on exactly what the.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So for those listening, we're talking about the flat bench press with 120 dumbbells
In each
arm.
hand.
Yes, and making sure you're doing 4 reps at that. And again, a lot of times when you're going that heavy, it is probably better for you to take a minute or 2. I don't know what you do to rest, just to get your breath, to
Yeah.
make sure you're recovering, and make sure
Yeah.
that's pretty heavy weight.
And just to
That's
clarify,
very heavyweight. Yeah.
and just to clarify for like a rookie who might be listening to
Yes.
this, is like it's not necessary to get to doing 10 sets of 10 of a very heavy weight for building muscle.
Absolutely. No, it's not necessary.
Not at all.
This was a goal
Yes.
he came up with in his mind, probably filled with testosterone.
Yeah.
And he said 10 by 10 with 120s, the
Correct.
heaviest they got.
Correct.
We call those man makers. You just went out and said, I'm going to do a man maker. And I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do the heaviest dumbbells and I'm going to do a respectable amount of volume, which that's ridiculous.
Correct.
Man, awesome.
So just the Pharaohcast disclaimer for anyone that's like, David's not saying this is something you need to do.
Not
This
at all.
disclaimer, this is not medical advice. We are not advising
David
this.
got nothing out of doing this. He didn't
David
win any
actually,
trophies.
he got bragging rights.
Yes,
you
I
got
felt
bragging
better.
rights. That's all you got, right?
And to 95% of the population,
Do not try
me
this.
telling them that story means nothing to them.
Yes.
So,
Do not try this at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So
No, that's awesome, dude.
yeah, so
That's awesome.
I tried. It was tough. I'll have to show you one day while I'm doing it again. once I try it again.
Absolutely,
So, yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Absolutely. I need to see the 10 by 10. But yeah, that's cool, man. What about hobbies outside the gym, man? I know you go there almost every day. What do what do you like to do like in your free time with your wife?
So couple of things. One, work does consume a lot of my time. I do travel quite often, so I try to get into a gym anytime that I'm even out of the state or out of the city. My wife and I, she's very disciplined when it comes to us having time together. So every other weekend we plan date night. One weekend it may be her planning. The following weekend or the weekend after that would be me planning.
Nice.
So we tend to do date night every other week. It can be anything as far as sometimes I'll take her around the city. We'll go in front of different monuments, take pictures. It can be
amazing. I love
climbing,
that. I love that. I love
going out
free
to eat
stuff,
bowling.
man.
Yeah, yes,
I
absolutely.
love the free stuff.
Absolutely.
No, that's smart. I'm gonna have to steal some ideas from you.
Yes,
all
absolutely,
right?
absolutely. We but I'm very involved in my church as well.
Yes.
Here locally. So
What church do you go to, if you don't
I
mind
go
me?
to Mount Zion. It is a non-denominational church. However, because it is such an old church, 164 years, if I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me. But it was historically a Baptist church.
Okay.
So it's Mount Zion.
Mount
Baptist.
Zion.
Yep.
And where's it at?
So we have 4 locations. One is on our Jefferson Street. We have one in Brentwood. We have one in Antioch. And then we have one in Old Hickory.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Shout out Mount Zion.
Yeah, Mount Zion, Bishop Joseph Walker.
There you go. Shout
Yeah.
out Bishop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
awesome, man.
So yeah, we have a lot of community and a lot of actual church members actually attend Mount Zion. I mean, attend Mount Zion to go to the gym. So yes.
Oh, so you
the
see
community.
church members at the gym? Then?
Absolutely. Mount Zion is one of the largest churches here. I would say we have internationally over 25,000 members. So, yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah, yeah.
cool,
So,
David.
yeah.
David, awesome. I've got one last question
Okay.
for you before we wrap it up, man. How do you feel about ancient Egypt?
You know what? Good question. I try to always make parallel with what I'm involved with, which is the church.
Yeah.
A lot of times. So when you ask about ancient Egypt, the first thing I think about is back to the books of Matthew when it talks about the birth of Jesus and
I
Mary
love
and all
it.
those things. So yeah, that's the first thing that my mind thinks.
I
back
love
to.
it. So the representation of ancient Egypt through the Bible.
Correct.
I love that. Different perspectives, man.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Well, David, hey man, I want to thank you so much for coming on here, man.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed
Do you
myself.
have any? I appreciate that, man. Do you have any messages, any shout outs, anything you want to share with the audience at home?
So yes, I will say this. For those who are trying to get started or who are doing your journey as far as weight loss, weight gain, just don't give up. I think the biggest thing that you can do is stay consistent. Do not try to compete with anyone else. Your journey is your journey. For those who are already doing it, who come in contact with those who are on a journey, please be transparent. We all know that our story has not been perfect. We have failures. We still have some things that we're working on. I think transparency is the biggest thing. Tell those individuals that you see, hey, I was once there. I'm still there. I'm working. None of us are ever going to get to perfection. Let's just keep encouraging each other. Don't give up. Keep trying. Your win is your win. Celebrate them, but also have that accountability partner who tells you when you're doing things that are not aligning with what your goals are.
All right, David. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for joining
Absolutely.
us, man.
Thank you so much.
All
sir.
right.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right. And so there you have it, guys. That was David with Crunch Fitness. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please follow, like, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Pharaoh Fit Training. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.